Perfect.
Let me make you a host, Lee. Hey, Lee, when I make you host, can you make me a co-host back at me?
Yeah, of course.
There you go. You're the host. You have all the power.
Whoa.
Ew.
Let's see. How do I make? There we go. John's a co-host.
And if I have to, I may have to enter in another way in order to activate the breakout room. So hold on. Can you open up the breakout rooms, Lee? Do you see that option?
Let's see. Yep, I got it.
Cool.
Lee, would you make me, Linda, Derby, and Lisa co-hosts? We're co-facilitating and we're going to be bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we should be able to do everything in breakout rooms except send broadcast messages.
Okay. Linda, you're a co-host.
And you're a co-host.
And you're a co-host.
I know, I'm the Oprah of Zoom over here. Oh,
And we can admit people too, and then you guys don't have to if we know who they are.
I know you couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but in the Orion room, there was an Oprah reference going on.
We get points for that?
Yeah, we got mentioned.
Hey, everybody. Thanks everybody for joining. If you have a virtual background and you do not have a green screen for these activities, you'll be moving around. So if you turn off your virtual background, we'll be able to see you better. I know when I have virtual backgrounds on, part of my body disappears. So I've turned mine off. If you have a real green screen, then you probably don't have the problem, but I don't. So like Leslie, you have a nice virtual background, but if you start to play, we might not be able to see all your movements. I know it's hard because I'm like, don't look at my messy house. All right.
Does anybody else do that when you're like in meetings? You're like, oh, look at all that stuff back there. Always ask people about things.
I remember the first time I think we got on a call, Lisa. I was like, oh, I like your ands and I like your.
Hey, and I have to say, Lisa, your hair is gorgeous.
Oh my God, Mary.
It looks beautiful.
Well, this is like not coloring it for a year or
It
so.
looks gorgeous.
Thanks, not going back to that. So made the switch.
I'm hoping to not start
Yeah.
because I know
Oh,
it's hard
so good
to.
see you. Oh my gosh. I've missed this community so much. I really have.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I just really
No.
very special. So
Yay.
what was that restaurant that was it the Iron Horse, the something horse?
The dark horse.
Dark
The
horse.
Dark
Do the
Horse.
puzzle. Come on.
I feel like we need to go to
Let's
the
do the
Dark
puzzle.
Horse
Come on.
tonight. Kind of keep the traditions up. Funky
Well,
old bar. I don't even know if it's still around.
It is 5 now, so I will go ahead and get
I will
started.
find
I
out
know
for you,
people
Lisa.
are kind of jumping around, and I know some people may be struggling to get into the room, but with open space like this, you never know when people are going to pop in and out anyway. So getting started now is not going to probably hurt us in the end. But welcome everybody. We really appreciate you guys looking at our title card and thinking, that's something that I may want to be a part of today, because we're really excited that you're a part of this. So we had our introductions earlier today, but I don't know who was on the call and who wasn't on the call at the time of introductions and such things like that. So just quick and dirty my name is Derby Sale, and I am a 4-H youth development professional down here in Florida. So all things youth basically. And I also work with training other professionals and what they do with youth. So I will turn it over to either Lisa or Linda to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hurst in San Antonio, Texas, and I own and run Improv to Grow. And so I use Improv to help communication skills, whether it's confidence coaching with individuals or with groups doing team building and corporate training. And my cats are in the room too. So if I do that, that means we're bad kitties. So bear with.
And I am the third co-facilitator of this really fun session. My name is Linda Williams, and currently I work for the nonprofit international organization that some of you have heard of, Toastmasters International. However, why I'm in this improv workshop is because improv changed my life. And it all started at an NCCPS back in 2006, I believe. But without that, I wouldn't even be here. So back to you, Derby.
Yeah, no, and then it made me think when Lisa was saying, if you see this, that's her cat's being bad. And then I imagine her doing that to us if we're doing bad at any point in this session, her just going,
Do this, I'll do this.
But, yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna get right into this. Our goal is to fit as many activities into this next 90 minutes as possible. While we're doing, if there's any activity that we do and there's a possibility that we have a write-up of it already, you can also keep an eye in the chat box for some files that'll be dropped in there, or just directions that'll be dropped. So if there's anything that you really like that you're doing and you want to take that into your work as facilitators, then please feel free to do so. Yeah, so to get everybody into this space and just here and now, because I know it's still hard sometimes when you got screens and you got other things going on, and then just to get your energy to the place where we're going to be for a lot of this, we are going to start out with a countdown. And so you may have done this in your previous work, and you may go by different names, but essentially what we're going to do is I'm actually going to stand up. So I invite you to stand up if you're able to. If not, you are able to do everything we are doing from your seat, totally fine. And I actually put on real pants for this so that I could stand up. Oh, but you still don't even see my downside, so that's perfect. But with the countdown, what this is we're going to go from 8 down to 0, or 8 to 1, 8 to 0. I'm going to do it in a second and I'll figure out if it's 8 to 1 or 8 to 0. But yeah, so we're going to shake one hand and we're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then if you can get your feet involved too, we're going to go down to your right foot and your left foot. If you don't want to get your feet involved, you can get your shoulders involved or whatever. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, as long as you got some sort of body part initiated while we're doing this. All right. So we're going to start at 8, and then when we get through all those through those 4 body parts, we're going to start again with that first one. We're going to start at 7. So it's going to go 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, and then 6, 5, and so on and so forth. All right. So usually I would count this off, but it's weird to count off a counting activity. So I'm just going to go into it and go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Don't forget the 0. Oh. I'll be honest, I have not lifted my leg up to be seen in a Zoom video in a while. But yeah, so quick and easy way to get in there and get the energy flowing. So I will now turn it over to Lisa.
Awesome. Hey, I'm going to put something in the chat here, and it's going to serve for the rest of our time because we're always going to ask for suggestions. And this is just a real fast reference tool that if you can't think of anything in the moment, you can scroll back through. So, and you're going to have like, I don't know, like 27 seconds per item per section. So type fast, type often. The first group is food. So whatever food comes to mind, you've got 27 seconds. Type it in. Excellent. Sushi, peach. Okay. Let's move on to furniture. Types of furniture that you might see, like an ottoman or a couch or a chaise lounge. How about things you find in nature? Like lots of couches. Trees, birds, bugs, whatever. Places that you love to travel. Could be a country, could be a city, could be a state of mind, could be whatever. Okay, Ireland, ooh, Disney World, places we want to go one day again. Awesome. Okay, so this is your list. Oh, and one last thing is an adjective, something that you add ing to. Please keep it family friendly. But we're going to use this next section especially for our next exercise. So I think Linda and Derby, we've got a good bunch of suggestions moving forward. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's really good. So just look back over that. If you get, kind of like, I can't think of anything, there's a good reference point. So our next Energizer is going to be, it's called Bad Yoga. How many people love yoga? You like the yoga? You're like, I'm really bad at it. But this is a nice twist on it because in my dojo, and Lisa's dojo, it's really bad. So what we're going to do here pretty soon, you're going to come up with a movement with an odd combination that you don't normally see in every dojo, because my dojo is really fun and crazy. And so I'm going to ask for people who would like to demonstrate their little positioning and everything to share with everyone. Keep in mind, it needs to be super simple, just like regular yoga is, simple and slow. And so I'll ask you to demo the movement, and then we'll, as a whole group, we will we'll repeat it at least 3 times and then move on to the next person. Now, how do we move on to the next person, you might ask? And I will just say it's simple. We've already been raising our hands today, so you can raise it virtually or you can raise it old school, okay? And Derby and Linda will help me figure out who goes next. So, and last thing, anything physical you do, I don't know the last time you worked out or stretched or anything. So if you typically don't do that with your body, don't start it now. So keep it simple. If you're sitting, you can still do this sitting. If you're standing, know that gravity works everywhere still, okay? So everybody's pretty clear with that? We're gonna do an adjective and a thing, right? And I'll demo it for you. So I'm gonna do the sleepy llama. And so I'm gonna show you, and then everybody will repeat it 3 times. So that's my movement. All together now. Again. Bring that oxygen in. Let it out slowly. And one last time. All right, so that's the sleepy llama. So who's next? Who wants to go next in our fun, crazy dojo? Anyone have?
I can go. And it's
Go for
just
it.
to add adjective and a movement.
Exactly.
We'll give it a creaky robot.
Say again?
The creaky robot.
Oh, cool. Look at how he goes. He's got that. Okay. All together now. Let's do creaky robot. Time. Awesome. Thank you, Logan. I feel already loosened up here. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
So, enthusiastic lion.
Ooh, nice. It's all in the face. It's all in the face, man. That's awesome. All right, let's do one more. I know
I've got one if no one, did someone else want to go? The itsy bitsy spider. You might know this one. And really, the advanced itsy bitsy, you start low and you climb up. Stretching.
Oh, that's a good one. I like
as you
that one.
can.
I think I'll just add that to my regular, I'm gonna add that to the regular one, so.
And then half the flow, you come down the spout. Just added that on.
Awesome. Well, that's bad yoga for you.
That was great. Thank you. And Linda, go for it.
All right. This is actually going to be a paired activity. So as I'm describing it, can one of the co-hosts set up breakout rooms with pairs and make sure Lisa, Linda, and Derby are not paired together, but rather paired with somebody else? Because I'll explain it and model it, and then we'll go in breakout rooms and play it. So we're
Lee,
kind
do you
of
have that? Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. Okay. So this is a simple sounding warm-up, but it takes a lot of concentration and listening. I just call it 1, 2, 3, clap, boing, woo. So there are many parts to this, but it's a paired activity. And Lisa, would you be my partner? And can we spotlight both of us? Let me see if I can also spotlight. All right, we should be spotlighted. Okay, so we're going to be a pair in a breakout room. And basically, we're just going to alternate rounds of counting to 3, but in different ways. So the first time, we're just going to count alternating 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Each time, we're going to do everything 3 times. So first round is this: 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3. Easy
1.
enough, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we do that 3 times with just the numbers alternating, okay? Then we replace the number 1 and do it again 3 times with a clap. So we go 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3.
1. Oh, sorry. Woo!
You did just a clap with no sound. And then I go 2,
3, 2,
3, 2.
3.
And now we're into the next round. So we replace both the 1 and the 2. So it's is instead of 1, and then boing is instead of 2. So it's going to be, and you say boing.
Oh, boing.
3. Boing.
3. Boing.
3. Harder than it looks, isn't it? And then the last one would be, you start this one. Yeah. Boing. And then you go, woo,
Woo! Boing.
woo, boing.
Woo!
I know. Sounded easy, didn't it? So that's the idea. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, alternating. 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, alternating. And then boing 3, boing 3, boing 3, and then boing woo, boing woo. This is hard. Boing woo. Perfectly clear, right? Any questions?
I don't know. Can I just see you do all of them again by yourself one more time? No, I'm just
That was
kidding.
exhausting. I'm trying to unspotlight you, Lisa, but I'm having trouble. Remove spotlight. There we go. All right. Any questions before we go into pairs? All right. Lee, am I paired up with anybody?
You are, yes.
So all of the facilitators are? Okay.
Yep.
All right. If you have a question, let Lee know back in the main room, because Lee's staying in the main room, and just put anybody with questions into whatever room I'm in, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Awesome. Let's spend 5 minutes-ish. Lee, do you have it set up that they can come back to the main room on their own?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. All right, so let's do this. Let's do 5 minutes, but if you're done before 5 minutes, you and your partner come back to the main session room and we'll move on from there. All right, open them up, Lee.
All right, we're open.
Hi, Lee.
Hey, Mary.
You. How you
Perfect.
doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm still
Good.
kind of getting used to the whole Zoom mural breakout hosting stuff.
Yeah, me too. Vanessa was texting Al and I in our last session, and she was like, "Hey, can you go into this room at the next session?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Sure.
I was like, "Mary's there? Great."
Yeah, okay. And it was really funny because when I first got on, I was in the main lobby and Vanessa was like, well, why don't we go into a breakout room and you and Waldo and I can talk. And I was like, okay, yeah. Then I was like, how do I get in the breakout room? So it was very funny because I had told Vanessa, I was like, oh, I think I understand Zoom pretty well. And then when I finally figured out how to get in the breakout room, I was like, you remember when I said, yeah, no. But I think I've got it now. But it was very funny.
Yeah, I know. I was like feverishly updating my Zoom this morning.
Oh
with
yeah.
Tom's
Thankfully
email.
I don't know if I updated it, but I did a whole laptop update like earlier
Oh,
this week. And
nice.
I think that probably did it. And are you still needing to work these next 2 days too?
No,
Oh.
work was nice enough to give me time off for this. So
Okay, good.
yeah,
Okay,
so that was
good.
really fortunate.
Yeah, I was supposed to, and we had some staffing changes, and so I'm trying to go in to help.
Okay.
So today and tomorrow I'll be at work until I think I got on around 1:15 today. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, and you guys are
Yeah.
doing well.
We are, yeah.
Are you? I know I'm being dorky. Are you at 1 or 2 year anniversary mark yet?
Oh, May will be our 2 year.
2. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I looked it up.
Alrighty.
2 is the cotton anniversary.
Oh, so what are you gonna do?
I really want to get Al her door might be open, but I really want to get her like a, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Message. I wish we had done that because I think it is kind of a fun. I didn't think of it when we were first married.
There we go.
I don't know if I see it.
Oh, you might have to open your chat box.
There, it's open. Oh, okay.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
I think
That
that'd
would
be
be
super fun.
it is. That'd be so cute. That's very cute. And how is the day gone? This just seems so. It seems to be working, but it just seems such a different, experience.
Right.
But it's working.
It's been good, yeah.
Okay.
Couple little hangups with the technology, but I think that's to be expected.
Well, good. Yay.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Please return to the main room. Okay.
I didn't realize I could send broadcast messages. That's awesome. I thought only the host could. That is so cool.
Co-hosts
Yeah.
have a lot of power now.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
last update gave co-hosts a ton.
Power to the
Which is so
co-host.
nice because that was the biggest thing is like, if you're hosting, typically you're facilitating too. So it's always like, I want to give somebody else this capability. So it's always that like up front of like, okay, I got to make somebody else host, make sure you guys can do what you need to do.
Was anybody else's clapper broke?
Mine was, we had to use snapping.
Can you guys hear that?
I can't hear that at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is the noise limiter, I think. So when the dog barks behind me, if I had one, it would go out. Because we're looking at each other like, go ahead and clap.
No,
Yeah, I'm clapping. We had to do this.
you have to clap up higher.
That's funny.
Well, and Stephanie has a sleeping baby, so they modified
There you go.
their 3 to make it work in her space right now. While we're waiting for
We got
still a couple people, yeah,
Yeah.
they should close automatically any second. I just want to do a shout out to Ed Kaplan, who's with us, who is the reason that I am standing, and I am literally standing in this NCCPS improv session today, because he gave me the nudge I needed to explore improv in an impromptu workshop at NCCPS 2006, Ed?
It was before the 25th.
Be in here for another
So yeah,
45 minutes, so.
about 6.
Anyway, so thank you, Ed, and shout out. Our workshop was called Tanaz. We don't know why.
What was it?
Tanaz.
It was our
It went back-
server.
It
at
went back to
an
the name of the
ACCT.
server. Yes,
Story for another time. I
Anyway,
forgot it was
back-
called Tanaz.
yes, it was called Tanaz. Back to you, Derby.
Yeah. So this next one we're going to play in this large group, and this is called Energy Flow. So it kind of works off the tenets that we were working off of with the bad yoga and the clap boing 1, 2. I can't even remember the name. But yeah, what we just did. But what's going to happen is, as the facilitator, I'm going to do an action and a movement and a noise. So 3 things: action, movement, and a noise. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to call on somebody in this room. So I may say Linda, and I'm going to do that action, energy, and noise for her, at her, pass it to her. And then she is going to take that same energy, action, and noise, and then pass that on to somebody else in the group. And her goal is to be matching me, that whoever has passed it to her. And so then she's going to pass it, and then that person's goal, whoever she passes it to, is you're going to be matching Linda's energy. So you're not worrying about matching the first person that does it. That doesn't matter. You're paying attention to the person that's passing it to you. You're taking their energy and you're passing it on to somebody else. All right. So again, it is action, movement. Action and movement are the same thing. So action and noise. There we go. Simpler. Action and noise. All right. So I'm going to pass it to Logan.
Oh, I gotta pass to somebody. So I was so excited. I'll pass to Ed.
Linda.
Kathy.
Lisa.
Leslie.
Tina.
Stephanie.
I'm looking, everyone else has got their screens off, so I don't know if Mary or Lee, Mary will receive it, great, and I only have one hand, so, and a sleeping baby, so. Oh, I can't hear you, Mary, yeah.
Should I send it back to Derby?
Sure, send it back, send it back.
Woo!
Beautiful. You can give yourselves a round of applause. So that is one version of that. There's another version to where sometimes people feel like, well, that one leader at the beginning, they chose the action and the noise, and then that's what happens the entire time. Some people may not be the biggest fans of that. So if you want to switch it up a little bit, you can, as a facilitator, start with the action and a noise, and then whoever you call, they receive it by mimicking. and then they can come up with their own action and noise to pass on to somebody else. So you pass it, you receive it by mimicking, and then you can come up with your own action and noise to pass on to somebody else. And then it'll go into the same flow we just did. So I want to try that real quick and see what the different actions and noises you guys can come up with. So I will pass it to Tina.
I will pass it to Kathy. Woohoo!
Sorry. I didn't unmute. Woo, woo, woo. And I'll pass it to Ed. Oh, I didn't do a new one. Sorry. It's the end of the day. It's the end of the day. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Blip, 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 blip. And I will pass it. Logan, have you got it yet?
I have not, no.
All right. Blip, blip, blip.
And I'll do the over to Linda.
Passing to Leslie. Dynamite.
Dynamite. And I will pass to Lisa. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom. And I'll pass it. Is everybody gone? I'll pass it back to Derby.
Nice catch.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And I won't do this third iteration, but I just had an idea that kind of popped in my head while we were doing this, because I saw a couple of you guys doing it in the first round. Another iteration, if you're doing this activity, if you want to do it, is especially in Zoom, you can use the spaces on the screen. So if I were to pass it to Linda on my screen, I would pass it over here because she's over there, and then she can receive it from wherever I'm at on her screen. So that can be another way that you just add a different element to this and connecting people in this usually disconnected space, but we all know how to really well connect people in this space. So I will turn it over to Lisa.
Okay, so we're gonna, Lee, we're gonna need some, or Mary, we're gonna need some breakout rooms here shortly in pairs, and do not put me in one. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation. You know, these days conversations are really kind of touch and go and very tricky. And the great thing about improv, and when we're performing on stage, it's like it's all made up, right? And it's just like the script's not been written. So we have to really dial in and recognize what emotions are being shared, and not just the information, obviously, but the information, the emotion behind it. So this exercise is really kind of fun to do on so many different levels. It's a communication game, and it's not really a game, it's an exercise. And basically it's all numbers. So you don't have to worry about anything you're going to say, as long as you know how to count sequentially up to however many numbers you need to go to. So basically there's going to be a topic thrown out there, and without sharing if you're pro or con to it, as you talk, as you naturally would talk, you'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your partner would be like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you just cut, you go back and forth just like ping pong, just like a regular conversation, but you use numbers instead, and try to be as animated as possible. So you're really committed to, I really like this thing, or there's no way. So you might both like it, you might both hate it, you might one like it and the other one hate it. So it's just a fun, short little energizer, but you can really unpack it in a pretty powerful way as need be for your groups. So thumbs up if everybody's clear on that. Counting sequentially, those are instead of words. So and we'll just do that for like 2 minutes. It'll be a kind of a fast thing. And your subject matter that you're going to discuss, and I really want to know, because I know people have strong feelings about this. Should pineapple ever be on pizza?
Well,
Not yet,
Don't give
sorry.
it away right now. Don't give it away right now. You will discuss in your groups sequentially with your numbers. You have literally less than 2 minutes to figure this out. And I want to hear very, very stridently what you feel. Okay. So go to your breakout rooms, and if you can go naturally, come back here would be awesome. So you might have 2s, you might have 3s. That's fine. Cool.
There we go. You did not
Hey,
want to be in a room, correct?
I did not.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to hang out with you guys.
Thanks.
Selfish.
Lee, when you did that, how did you do it? You went into breakout rooms,
So I went into, so you can go into breakout rooms,
right?
and then it will ask you how many you want to create.
Okay.
So I just did some quick math. I did not initially account for you and me and the breakout room number 2. So we had an extra room.
Okay.
And then you can either assign randomly, or you can click on the room and say assign, and then pick who goes there.
Okay.
So like in the beginning, when the 3 hosts said we want to be each in a room, so we're not together, I could put them each in a room and then say, okay, you get here, you get here, you get here.
Okay. All righty. I need to. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can broadcast a message to all the rooms.
Right.
If the co-host of the meeting can too, which is kind of
Which you
cool.
found. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can close the breakout rooms too, whenever.
Okay.
And it's cool. I could like manually pick someone and just move them to a different room if I wanted to.
Got it. Okay. And they're no.
Right.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So Lisa, are you down in Texas, you said?
Yeah, I'm still in San Antonio.
Are you in a place that was okay these past few weeks or not?
No, well, fortunately we had electricity and water, but it was kind of, you just never knew when it was going to go off. So, so it was a lot of people, it was a lot worse for other people, but I mean, fortunately we were basically very, very thankful that we didn't have it worse. But like a week ago today, it snowed all day here. It never snows here.
No.
I mean, I've been here since '85. I can count on one hand, on 3 fingers, how often it snowed here, much less a whole day. And it snowed twice in 1 week. I think we had a total of about 7 inches between the 2 days.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Nobody knows how to drive.
We got about 5 overnight here.
Yeah.
It'll be gone. Unlike you, I mean, it'll be gone. The sun's already out, and it'll be gone by either tomorrow or the next day. But
Thursday it was like 19. Saturday it was like 72 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, we're not complaining, but it was crazy. But
right. No.
It was the extended time period that it was so cold. We never get it that long.
No,
We'd get a hard freeze. 6 hours is a hard freeze.
Yeah.
This was like 4 days, 5 days. So cool. Is everybody coming back, or?
You should probably close the rooms so they come back, or send them a message to come back.
Cool. They've got 60 seconds.
Made it.
Awesome. So how is it? Is everybody back? It looks like everybody's back. So that experience, not quite yet. I put the instructions of the ones I've done so far in the chat. So if you want to save the chat at the very end, or however you want to do it. So the real basic, but the core of that is just a communication exercise that you can frame it and debrief it at any level that you need to for your group. So it's very user friendly. So
who counted the highest?
Oh,
we started laughing at 25.
just curious as far as people got.
Yeah.
And then we figured out we're in the same town. We're pretty close.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, wow.
That was luck.
I
That
want to
was
know.
Mary. Is it Mary the one that made the breakout rooms?
Lee.
No, Lee. Thank you, Lee. We have a new connection now.
Good. I had a feeling.
That's good. So what was the verdict? Pineapple or no pineapple?
We had to forgive each other, I think, in the long run. Yeah, agree to disagree and be on the same page.
Oh, okay.
There were
What
tears.
else? Tears. My goodness. Wow. Who knew? Anyone else? Any other reflection from that?
I think we were pretty didn't really care too much, pretty easygoing.
So you're in the basement, I heard. That's what you said.
So how did you know that you were pro or con? What was the telltale?
The expressions, the hand movements.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we decided we liked sausage better. I'm not sure.
Well, and that's the thing about this particular exercise is that we've all been dealing with it this last year, is that now our expression, all of this has been limited to this. So it's like the eyes and the posture are really key to communication. So I did a longer piece on that part, but it's really kind of fun to play with that one. So
It's fun.
Awesome.
It's fun through Zoom because you don't have to have the mask on. That's
Right.
an advantage of the virtual side.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So I'll put those notes in the chat again, and then Linda, if you want to go for it.
Awesome. We're going to stay together in this large room. And this is one of those activities where we're going to call out a name. I learned this activity. I'm sure it's got multiple names, but how I learned it is Barbara sells brownies in Boston. So you might have noticed the alliteration of the letter B. So the idea is someone will start and I can do the start, and someone else will pick a letter for me of the alphabet, the 26 letters, at least in the alphabet I know in English. And I will pick someone's name, what they sell, and where they sell it. The sample being Barbara sells brownies in Boston. So let's see, someone who's unmuted. Tina, will you give me a letter of the alphabet, please, to start?
S.
S? All right, so I'm gonna do my S, and then I will say another name in the Zoom meeting with another letter, and then you just do that. You can repeat the letters. If you get another S, try to come up with different names and things to sell in places, but it's okay if you repeat. The idea is to go as fast as we can and be as wacky as we can. There are no wrong ways to do this. All right. Sally sells stamp collections in Scotland. Nadine, L.
Labradors in Louisiana. And do I call somebody else or? Who's everybody's muted? How about that?
Well, they'll unmute when you call them.
Okay, Mary, go for it.
And give her a letter.
R.
And it's
Rodent? Okay.
something sells something in something.
Rodents sell ridgebacks in Rhode Island.
Ah.
And I'll go to Ed and say P.
Philip sells pine cones in Philadelphia. Kathy, T, as in, well, T.
Tony sells toenails in Tunisia. And how about Logan with a F?
F. Frank sells footballs in Finland. And we'll send it to Leslie with a letter D.
Dinah sells dinosaurs in Denmark. And has everybody gone yet?
I haven't.
Okay, Lisa, I'm going to give you a W.
Oh, William sells Willy Wonka bars in Williamsburg. Hey, Ed, I'm going to give you the letter. Have you gone before?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Derby hasn't
Derby,
gone. Oh,
I'm going to give you the letter W.
Wilhelmina sells waffles in Washington. And I'm going to pass Tina the letter B.
Ben sells buttered buns in Baltimore.
Wow.
I will pick, let's go back to Linda.
All right. Letter.
How about a K?
And if you haven't gone and would like to go again, go ahead when I'm done to put your hands up and then I'll know who my choices are. Catalina sells kangaroos in Kalamazoo. Anyone want to go again?
Oh.
Ed. E.
Okay. E. Evan sells evidence in Edinburgh. If it's not a real town, it is now. Anybody else want to go? Okay, Leslie, and your letter is M.
Mary sells monitors in Maryland. Anybody else?
All right. Give yourselves a round of virtual applause. Excellent. Derby, you good? Okay, I was going to say, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Wonderful. So I'm going to give everybody about well, actually, no, this is a perfect break in our fun-filled activities that I wanted everybody to take a deep group breath. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes to kind of talk through, we're not going to fully debrief all of those activities, but you just had about 6 activities thrown at you in 45 minutes. So I want to hear your thoughts for the next about 5 minutes from the group on any of those activities that really stuck out to you. And that sticking out could be ones that you think you'll be able to use in your facilitation lives, or one that just really made you smile and laugh today, and that's what you needed, and that's where you're at. So I just want to kind of hear your thoughts on anything that stuck out to you guys so far in that regard.
Hi, this is Kathy. I really liked 1, 2, 3 clap boing woo because it showed how very coordinated and incredibly intelligent Derby and I were. But it was fun, it made you laugh, and and you could even cross the body and do a little bit more brain work too. And it was kind of fun. So, and I could see it as a brain break.
I enjoyed that game a lot as well. And I was saying I played with Tina, and I was saying, I think if you did have a slightly larger group, you could play with more than one person. If everyone was just kind of in a circle, you could just send it around and around. I think there's also the ability to kind of grow and say, we made it this far without messing anything up. Let's try to go a little further. If you can do it slowly, maybe do it the next time, see if you can do it a little bit faster. I just think there's a lot, and the movements are fun, they're silly, it gets you thinking. So I think that's a really cool game.
I like Kathy, you were just saying about the brain break, and that's one of the things we have in our groups regularly. And I had not thought about that until you mentioned it. So, especially the last one, I work with middle school boys, and that first one or the last one we just did, I think is a really safe way to introduce them rather than jumping in on 1, 2, 3, clap, boing, woo. But also, I think that I've had the most fun in such a long time doing the number counting with Derby. That was an awesome, awesome debate. Went through all the emotions. It was awesome. Oh, and one other thing, I was talking to Leslie about this, that I want to try 1, 2, 3, boing, woo, clap, boing, woo. Yeah, I got to work on that part as like a Zen counting challenge. So that's in the back of my head. I don't know. Be fun to try.
I think I could use any of these activities with our district is K-12, but with any of, there's just great ways to engage people virtually.
Yeah, I kind of like what Ed was just talking about with like introducing the goofiness or the silliness. Like you can't jump with this group. It was a little easier to jump right into it because I mean, there's a shared understanding of the group that we're with and things like that. But yeah, sometimes you have to introduce it slowly and scaffold it a little bit before you get to the completely insane and goofy. But no, I like that a lot. Cool. Well, I'm going to give you guys about a minute. And I need you to get 2 items for this next activity. If you have them, if you don't have these 2 items exactly, something that kind of serves the same purpose potentially. So I need a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper. And I've done this a couple times on screen and I never actually have my own pencil and pen or paper prepared like I probably should. All right, so didn't seem like anybody had to go far, so cool. So what this next activity is going to be is object pass. So we kind of introduced this idea when we're going over energy flow, but we're going to be utilizing the screens as we are arranged right now, okay? So to start off, anytime that you receive an item, you're going to introduce your item, and it's going to be something that it's not, okay? So if I had this item, I would introduce it as a microphone. And then I would use this microphone. So I'd be like, this is my microphone. All right. And then I'm going to pass my microphone to Leslie. All right. So then you're going to pass the item to wherever that person is on your screen. Okay. So Leslie's kind of at a diagonal from me. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to pass my microphone to Leslie. And then Leslie's going to receive that from wherever I'm at on her screen. Okay. And she's going to, and then she's going to pull out her item. So she'll have that, she'll have a pencil or, well, she'll have a microphone. And then she's going to introduce that as something that it's not, but something that's not a microphone either. And then she's going to use it. And then she's going to pay somebody else.
Then I'm clear on this. Then, so I get the microphone. Do I do anything with the microphone?
You can say, there you go. Thank you for asking that, actually. You say, thank you, Derby, as gratitude for receiving.
Thank you, Derby. This is my hat. And I'm going to pass my hat to Logan. Logan is muted.
I got you, Logan.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Leslie. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for the wonderful hat. I'm going to use it as a fan. And I'm going to pass my fan down towards Kathy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I have a magic wand. And I'm going to pass my magic wand to Lisa. Oops, wrong way. Lisa.
Guitar. Over to, oh, it's going to be difficult. Oh, wrong way. Nadine, catch it.
Catching.
Catching my guitar. There we go.
Oh,
Got it.
guitar. Okay. My internet cut out on me. What a lovely guitar. I have some lovely sheet music here to play the guitar with. And let's see. Ed, would you like to play some guitar?
Sure.
Here's my sheet music.
Thank you. Oh, got a little smaller. This is no longer this here. This is a Frisbee. And I'm going to, oh, I should have, I'm a lefty. Okay. Which I'm going to throw it over to Linda on my, wow. That worked. Oh, really? That is the right way. Here you go.
Wow. I gotta practice my Frisbee. I'm
gotta
gonna
practice my
put that
directions.
down and pick up my my javelin. And be careful, it's sharp. My javelin is going out to Nadine. Oh, sorry.
Oh, good toss there. Let's see. I have this javelin. I think I'm gonna need this Band-Aid. Ugh. So, who hasn't played? Leslie, do you need a Band-Aid?
Tina.
Tina? Tina. Do I see Tina? Oh, there you are. So patient. Here's your Band-Aid.
I have a lovely fork here that I'm going to pass off to Derby. Here you go, Derby.
Thanks, Tina. Appreciate it. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Wonderful. So another iteration of that you can do that I honestly just thought of while we were doing that is because while we're passing, it's a very two-way street in that moment where those two people are the only ones doing action. So what you can ask the group to do as well is that whatever it is introduced as, however I start using it, that everybody in the group then uses their pencil as a microphone and they kind of mimic whatever that person is doing on the screen. So that's another.
I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I will thank you guys for that. That was fun. And now I have a new iteration because I was watching everybody and you guys were very engaged, but I was like, oh, there's a way that we can keep moving this entire time and kind of keep people active as they see fit. So yeah, thank you for that. I will now turn it back to Lisa.
Could
Awesome.
I interject another variation on that type of activity that I've done either in person? I have only done it once virtually, but in person or virtually, same idea, like passing it to the next person. But we started with one, so everybody got a chance to come up with an alternative use. And I put in the chat, this falls under the psychological, I guess, alternative use tests, which kindergartners are much better at than we are, by the way. Not a surprise, any of us. But I also call it in fun, yes, but that's also. So the guitar, I like the guitar. So Lisa passed me the guitar and I'd say, yes, this is a great guitar. And it's also a javelin. And then Nadine, because she got the javelin in the heart, would say, yes, it's clearly a javelin. And it's also and then we finish with the one act object and then maybe bring another object. So creativity booster, innovation booster. If you're going into a meeting where you're trying to come up with a solution to a problem, these types of activities are great ways to get people focused on thinking outside the box. Anyway, that's my little insert on AUTs, alternative use test activities.
Now, on another point while Lisa's figuring out her cat. No.
That's not a cat, that's a blanket.
No, I really like that, what Linda was just talking about as well. So I think the other point with that too is when somebody's receiving it, again, kind of going back with that energy flow that we were doing earlier, you're accepting and showing that person that you accept what they have offered you. And that can be a really powerful tool in this space as well, of like, oh, cool, I use this as a guitar. Now that person's using it as a guitar. They've now affirmed that that is a use of this item. So that can be a really powerful component there as well.
Stop.
And going into debriefing for that, you can talk about those types of things as well. So just another thought there. So Lisa now about the blanket cat.
My blanket cat. That was Dee Dee. She's precious, but she loves wires. So she's going to use up one of her 9 lives here pretty soon, I think. So this next activity is kind of a collective energy kind of energy exercise. So if you want to stand, you can stand. You still can do this sitting down. So again, gravity still works. Don't be stretchy too much, but negotiate your own needs on this one. So this one's called stay sway. So this is stay, so you're still, and then this is going to be sway. Okay, so sway could look like this, or it could be really big. So everybody stay, sway, stay, sway. Okay, y'all are too good at this. So we're going to take it up to the next level because, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. So now when I say stay, you sway. And when I say sway, you stay. So it's opposite, right? So, you got it? So it's opposite of what that was. So sway. Very good. Stay. Sway. Stay. Stay. Oh, gotta listen. Okay, so you got that down. That was super easy. So this is going to be high five. Boop. It's a high five. You go boop. So everybody, let's do that together and say it. Boop. And then this is going to be what? So what is like party going on, right? What? So high five. What? High five. Okay. What? Okay. Now we're gonna flip it around. So what is now high five? High five is now what? High five. High five. What? High five. Okay, so it's a progression of opposites. So in real life, I would always use this as one of my first exercises, just to get people loosened up and like messing up. And the faster you go, the more you're going to mess up. And that's kind of fun, just letting go of all that. Oh my gosh, I got it wrong. It's okay in this particular space. So it's embracing failure and moving forward, which is a huge principle in improv. So how that goofiness of like, ooh, did I get it right or not, is really, just embrace that fact. So I've done 2 variations. So the stay and sway and the high five and the whoop whoop. Let's create a third set of activities together that we could do that would be easy to do in this space.
We do this activity. We did it with a group of administrators, but we did walk, stop, clap name, jump dance.
Ooh, jump dance. Okay. So is this going to be dance? What do you want to do for dance? Let's get a collective.
We let people do whatever they wanted with dance.
Okay. So this dance and then jump. Is that going to be, let's do the boing. We got to do boing on that one because that's just too fun. So boing. So let's practice. So let's dance. Boing. Boing. Dance. Boing. Now we're going to flip it. So boing. Dance. I like that. That's a good variation. Dance. Actually, that is kind of a dance too. But so it's just kind of a fun opposite, kind of game. And just to be opening your mind up to like, oh, what's going to happen? We don't know, and we're going to be safe because it's going to be accepted to be in that space. So, so stay sway, high five, whoop whoop, then the dance, and then the boing, right? So we'll do a lightning fast version of that. So like look alive, and still going to be opposites. Still be opposites. Okay, dance. Sway. Stay. High five. Boing boing. Oh, that's right. I know. So that's stay sway. So that's just a fun, you can expand it or just condense it as needed, but it's a fun energizer. Any questions or thoughts about it?
It'd be great to, to just kind of use it metaphorically and say, for an empathy builder, when you have folks learning a new language, whether it's an actual language like English as a second language, let's say, but also learning a new skill or trying something like Zoom that's so opposite maybe of what they're used to. Things like that. It's just, I think that would be a great one to kind of set a tone around learning something new that is contradictory to what you knew before.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know, just a thought popped in my head.
That's cool.
All right.
If
Anything
you've got
else?
another one, Linda, go for it.
All right. Who on this call has played group juggle with like tossables? Who on this call, Ed's ready with his tossables. Don't throw it at the screen. Who has not played group juggle or isn't sure that if they've played group juggle? Go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, Tina and Logan are not sure. Maybe they did, maybe they just heard it as something else. In person, how we would do this is we would be in a circle. And everyone who is playing, we would set up a pattern in which we would toss our object. And we would repeat the pattern over and over, and then we would probably build on it to other activities. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to start simple and use our names, because everyone's first name is on the screen, or at least the name they're going by, the first name that's listed is what they're going by today in this session. So the idea is we're going to first set up the pattern, and then we're going to keep repeating the pattern, and I'll jump in for variations as we go. So you only go once in the pattern, and it's going to be a continuous loop. So it'll start with me and it will end with me, just because that'll be easier for me to start and stop the iterations. Lee and Mary, turn on your cameras if you'd like to play. Otherwise, we will not include you. They may be busy doing other things. Okay. So what I would ask is if you can unmute, obviously you've got noises in the back and you got to do a quick mute. Let's try to do this. Unless there's some background noise that goes on for a while, we'll just let one of the crew, if my dog starts barking and I don't mute myself quick enough, we'll let the crew mute me because I didn't get to it fast enough. But if you can stay unmuted, that'll be better. So does everyone understand the first thing? We're just going to set up a random pattern because my little Hollywood squares that I see is different from what you see on your screen. So we can't do it that way. So I'm going to start and I'm just going to say the name of a person. And I'm going to say Ed.
Logan.
Oh, I have an idea. Sorry. Put up your hands if you haven't yet been called. Okay. So Ed, and then put down your hands.
Logan.
And I just say the next person who Tina.
Nadine.
Lisa.
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda,
And then we're gonna repeat. Ed, same pattern.
Wrong way. Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa,
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda,
Ed,
Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa,
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda,
Ed,
Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa.
Leslie.
Derby.
Linda.
great job. All right, next round. We're gonna do the same pattern with our eyes closed. Okay, so if you would, close your eyes. Ed,
Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa,
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda,
Ed,
Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa,
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda,
Ed,
Logan,
Tina,
Nadine,
Lisa.
Leslie,
Derby,
Linda.
great job. Open your eyes. So thumbs up if it was easier with your eyes closed, thumbs down if it was easier with your eyes open. Leslie, looks like she's kind of in the middle. Lisa's in the middle. Yeah, yeah. So variations on that, right? What did you notice once the pattern started going, whether your eyes were open or closed? What did you notice?
I was saying the other names in my head. Like I
So-
almost said Lisa's name when Nadine called her because I knew I was coming up next.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I
Ann-
knew my name and I knew to yell Lisa. That's all. That's all I needed to know.
yeah, letting everything else kind of go by the wayside, just listening for the one thing.
Yeah,
No, it was a really cool moment actually, that being able to close my eyes on a Zoom call and still participating in a Zoom call with my eyes closed. Like that was a really peaceful moment, I'll be honest. Like that was really, I had not experienced that before. So I was like, oh wow, this is nice.
yeah. Zoom overload can, we need to take those visual breaks sometimes. Yeah. What I noticed is I have no idea what the pattern was other than when I heard Derby say my name, I just automatically said Ed.
Logan, sorry,
Yep,
conditioned.
See? And later
From now
on,
on, whenever Linda calls my name, I'm going to say Logan.
exactly. If we were together in the conference space, in the hotel or whatever, if someone yelled Ed, especially if it's a female voice, let alone mine, yeah, Ed would immediately go, "Oh."
Logan.
So we're gonna mix this up, make it a little more challenging. Don't call on the same person you called in this time. So it's a new pattern, except that it's gonna start and end with me. Okay. And this time, you're not going to use your name. You're going to say the name of a fruit or a vegetable. And it has to be different from everybody else's, just like all of our names on this call are different. So you can think of your fruit or vegetable now. Okay. Now to start, you're going to have to say who you're sending your vegetable or fruit to. But once we get the pattern established, we're going to just get rid of the names. So we'll go slow the first time. Okay. So, and we'll do this again if you haven't been called. Tina, banana.
Ed, rutabaga.
What?
That rutabaga?
Yes.
Okay. Nadine, kumquat.
Leslie, grape.
Lisa, potato.
Logan, kiwi.
Derby, watermelon.
Linda, blueberry.
All right. So let's try it. We'll go slow. See if we can do it. Banana.
Rutabaga.
Kumquat.
Grape.
Potato.
Kiwi.
Watermelon.
Blueberry.
Banana.
Rutabaga.
Kumquat.
Grape.
Potato.
Kiwi.
Watermelon.
Blueberry.
Banana.
Rutabaga.
Kumquat.
Grape.
Potato.
Kiwi.
Watermelon.
Blueberry.
All right, good. So you get the idea. You can do that with as many categories as you want. Virtually, what I would call level 3 is much more complicated, and I don't want to take the time to do it. But in person, it is an incredible activity for getting your teams to focus by doing group juggle. You're juggling the names and then the words, but we do them at the same time. So we'd have both going. With Zoom, it's hard because when two people talk at the same time, you don't hear both people, whereas in person, sometimes you can. So we would start, Ed.
Logan.
Tina.
Lisa.
Ugh.
So soon you forget.
Leslie.
Derby.
Linda.
I was all ready with kumquat.
I know it's too. It's like,
Well, and that's what, so we'd go around with the names to remember it again, right? And then I would start, or anybody would start, but probably I would start as the names were, going around the second time. I'd throw banana to Tina. And then it really requires you to listen for just your piece. But anyway, great opportunities to do group juggle variations, a bazillion variations of group juggle. But that's one of the ones that I like with getting teams to really be on the same page, because it's like you're passing the team's energy from person to person, but you're keeping the flow going.
I kept waiting for you to say reverse, because when we do juggle,
Oh yeah.
juggle.
Actually, that's actually for virtual, Leslie, that's a great idea for virtual. That could be level 3.
Because we always tell people, you know, remember who you got it from and who you're sending it to.
I love
That'd
that.
be easy. Yeah. That's
Then
good.
we'd say reverse and everybody would go the other direction. It's hilarious with a huge group. But I kept waiting for you to say reverse. I was ready to say the name.
For time's sake, I'm not going to have us play that, but everybody gets, that would be the next level. Awesome.
And I think that could be really cool too, if you're looking for that level 3 complexity, if you reverse, you could even add a level 4 to you reverse, but then you're doing both. So it's like you interchange. So Linda, if you're the beginning and the end, once the names get back to you, then you start the fruits in reverse. And so that can yeah. No, I can see that getting, obviously really complicated, but I think you can achieve that level of complexity that you would by calling out multiple things, but doing that in the virtual space without talking over one another.
I think that hit level 100, not 3.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we went up to level 50 or more.
We were just tossing and saying names, because when you toss something, we always told our teachers are terrible catchers. Just so you know. I was a PE teacher for years too, but that was the main reason why we had them call their name out, so that they would know it was coming to them and it wouldn't hit them. But then we'd say reverse, and so they'd have to know how to go backwards. But trying to do both, that would be crazy.
So we're going to try to get into 1 or 2 more activities depending on time. I'm going to leave at least a good solid 8 to 10 minutes for just a final kind of talk through of what we've got going on here today. But this next one, I'm actually going to drop something into the chat box. So if you're able to open it, go ahead, but it's not there yet. So we might only get through 1 more, because this is going to take a little bit more front loading. And then I'm going to share my screen as well, so those that might not be able to open things. So this next activity is called Storybook. So there's such a thing called Story Spine. And so you'll see on the screen that the story spine is broken up into 8 things. So you have once upon a time, every day, and every day, then one day, and because of that, and because of that. So now every day, the end. And you can really break down any story that you can think of into that framework. And so I want to actually break down a story really quick, just so that we kind of get the idea that really any story can fit into this. So if we were telling the story of Little Red Riding Hood, I'm going to start off by saying, once upon a time, there was Little Red Riding Hood living her lovely life. And then somebody would come in and say something along the lines of every day. So what's something that Little Red Riding Hood did every day?
Went to grandma's house.
Yes, Little Red Riding Hood went to grandma's house every single day. And every day when she went to grandmother's house, what else did she do?
She walked by herself.
She walked by herself. And then one day when she was walking to grandmother's house by herself, what happened?
She met a wolf.
She met a wolf. And because she met that wolf, what happened?
She got scared.
She got scared. And because she got scared, what happened?
She started carrying pepper spray.
She started carrying pepper spray. So now every day that Little Red Riding Hood goes walking to her grandmother's house with by herself, she makes sure to carry pepper spray. The end. Ooh. So that was a story that's already established. What we're about to do is the stories that don't exist yet. You are about to make up these stories. And so what's going to happen is we're going to need, if you want to take a picture of this, or again, it's in chat box, so you can pull it up, but you're going to need to have this story spine in your breakout rooms. And what's going to happen is you are going to try to collect as many stories as you can within your group. And stories are collected by telling a story based off this story spine. And you must contribute something to the story in order to collect it, or you must be an active just listener. Active listening is absolutely fine as well if you're in the room and you don't necessarily get a piece in there. But you cannot give more than one part. You cannot give more than one part at a time. So if I were to say something and I would say, once upon a time, Linda existed out there into the world. So I'm not being the best improviser right now, I'll be honest. My creativity went there. But you would say something, you would introduce a character, and you could see there you're giving the beginning. But basically, you're going to go through back and forth with your group, giving pieces of the story spine and seeing how many stories you can tell in a certain time frame based off this story spine. All right. I see some confused faces. I will be happy to talk through it a little bit more if anybody needs. But again, the story spine is the main thing. And again, you're going to come up with your own stories. I just gave Little Red Riding Hood as a way to say, like, this can work with any story that does exist. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to send into rooms of 4. Yes, Linda.
I was just going to ask that. So I'm going to put Lisa in a room and you in a different room.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
ready. All of
ready.
us will be in a room, and go ahead and send us into those breakout rooms.
And how much time do you want before I bring you back?
We're going to do 2 minutes. So we're going to truncate a decent amount, just see how many stories you can get out in 2 minutes.
Perfect. All right. I'm opening the rooms.
Perfect. And now we're the same
Hey,
people.
guys.
They had to get back. They had to get to that final story.
It was a romance.
Well, we'll
You
never
never
Story's
know.
still going.
Girl.
It's suspense. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
All right. So how many
Go back
stories
and
were you guys
finish,
able
see
to
what
get?
happens.
How many stories were you guys able to get in your rooms?
2 1/3.
2 and a
2 and a
third?
third.
Yeah. I think we could have probably gotten a third in there, but I'll be honest, we finished our second. We were like, we'll take our 2. We'll Okay, cool. No, thank you guys for that. So now we're at the 6 minutes. I'm a little 2 minutes off of where I wanted to leave with the debrief, but totally fine. We'll still respect your time and get out of here at 6:30. But I want to hear some thoughts. Ed actually shared one in the smaller room, if you wouldn't mind sharing here. But I just want to kind of hear you guys' thoughts and where you're at after today's session, and if you're going to take anything out of here and use it, or if you're just again going to take your happy, good feelings and say, I enjoyed myself today.
Which small? Yeah, give me time to think about what I said.
No.
And then
You
I'll
talked
share
about
it.
the story spine and how you try to use it as a process.
Sorry. Yeah, I've been trying to use a story as a debrief for a long time because I saw it at an AEE conference, probably my first year facilitating, and it always fell flat. And I realized kids don't know what stories are or on the spot. And I was saying that just this one little handout, well worth the price of admission, because it gives that framework to springboard off of rather than getting the blank stares of once upon a time. Bueller.
And if you want to look it up, if you just look up story spine on Google, you can kind of get separate images without all of the colors and all that of this particular storybook activity. So you can look that up as well if you want to use it.
I love this activity. We were doing an action-based learning activity with kids, and we planted a piano in soil. And we went back to make sure he knew that the vocabulary word was soil, but we were like, hey, if he wants to plant a piano, why not? So but I love all these activities. I can totally see using them in any of my presentations or working with teachers and kids.
Good. What's the best size group ranges, do you think, to use some of these activities? What is kind of the larger side?
If it's the larger group activities, I think you can, I wouldn't go more than about 20 in a larger room with some of those larger ones, because then it's going to get to a point where you're not getting to everybody. So I would consider that. And then if you're kind of getting larger than that 20, then utilizing the breakout rooms of like 20 a piece. And for some, like there was some of the paired activities that I think went really well in pairs, if you have enough capability for that.
Yeah, I was going to piggyback on that. Just like in real life, there's a threshold of numbers to content and everything. I think it's a little bit more challenging virtually, like the group juggle. I think that was about the right size. For me, it felt like the right size. Now, like in real life, in person, I would probably do a few more people than that. I think you just have to kind of experience it and see what works. And just be really concise on your instructions. I think it's really going to have that feedback, like thumbs up, you got that. My stay sway is like definitely a group. There's definitely group activities, and there's definitely ones that feel more intentional and effective in the breakout room. So
I think like the group juggle would be really hard if you had a group that was too big and you couldn't see them all on screen.
Mm-hmm.
It would work if you shut your eyes, but being able to see everybody on some of them makes a big difference. So if the group's too big, I think you'd have to do a breakout.
I think modeling in the main session room, I just put a note in the chat, is a great way to do that. And whenever possible, having, even if it's not a facilitator who's maybe leading the whole thing, but someone who knows the activity well enough so they can be the guide in the breakout room. So you model it in the big room so everybody sees it once, and then you go and everyone gets a chance to participate. Group juggle is a great example of once you get past too many squares.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that question too, because it is important, especially when we're looking in the virtual space. And just a kind of a final thought as we're in this last 2 minutes that kind of been hitting me today is that if you're sitting there wondering, like some of these activities you may have done before, like the group juggle and things like that in different contexts, but we did it today and saying like, hey, these are improv activities. And really at the core of what we've been doing today is that just that spontaneity aspect of just being given something and kind of not allowing yourself to get in the way of and just stopping because you don't know what's coming next. You're giving something next. And I think all of the activities that we did today kind of worked off that piece a little bit. So I really appreciate you guys coming today and being a part of this. And if you want to learn more about improv and facilitation and how those can work really well together, we're going to have another session on Saturday. I forget what time frame it was in. But
I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was right after lunch.
It was either right before lunch or right after lunch.
Yeah.
But
and that's where we're going to get into more of the principles of, you know, the yes and, where you find and build on agreement, you support your team, you make your partners shine because they're going to do the same thing, and then you embrace the learning through, you know, through the failures, and we're going to have certain activities that will be reflective of those three. And how does that look as a facilitator, as your, you know, with your team ideally, and then as with your participants. So
we're good, Lee. You can kick us out.
Thanks, everybody.
Sorry, go.
All right. Yeah, John's saying it's time to wrap up. What is it? The after party is happening in the lobby.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Thank you guys. This was
everybody's
awesome.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before you go, if you want us to try to do this again with different activities, but the same structure as this one, let us know. And if we can make it work on Saturday, we'll do like a round 2, but with new activities. And if you don't, that's okay too. We just, you know, just let us know.
Got a whole list.
Yeah.
That would be awesome to have more activities, the better.
Cool.
So yeah, and we can get a hold of us, but I put my email there if you've got any questions too. So and you can go to the name board, I guess the name tag board too. So